Hello YouTube, this is Airsoft DC, I'm Arrow, and this is Connor.
What's up?
Today this is an Introduction to Airsoft, episode 5, and today we're going to be talking about something that actually involves playing Airsoft. I know we haven't actually gotten to that point yet in this series, but we had to go through safety protocol, history, introductions, things like that, before you even consider playing it. Common sense, basic stuff that you have to know. But today we can actually talk about Airsoft in a playing scope. Today we're going to be talking about how you choose what you're going to play or your class.
And so there are mainly three main classes in Airsoft. That includes CQB, Field, and Sniper. And then there's your subdivisions, such as Support Gunner or Support Squad, and it branches off.
Yes. Now, I'm going to start talking about certain guns you should have with each class. Now, aside from simple things that most people should have or would like to have, such as sidearms, smaller guns are imperative to CQB. Now, in CQB, or close quarter battle, for those who don't know, is when guns are lower powered, because higher powered guns in a smaller area will cause more pain and injury. So you have lower powered guns, and usually shorter guns. These include submachine guns, carbine rifles, pistols, and other guns within that class. Shotguns are popular also in this area. Now again, these are lower powered weapons, but the gameplay of a CQB player is often a lot more fast-paced and energetic and frenetic because you're playing in a less smaller area, turning corners, things like that. So if you're into more fast-paced action with the higher chances of you being probably killed, then I recommend CQB. Then there's Field. These are medium-range guns. These are, you're probably still using electric weapons, including rifles. You can also use things like submachine guns. This is where you'll use light machine guns. Your saws, your M60s, things like that.
RPKs.
RPKs, yes. If you're into Russian airsofting, AK-47s work here, and a bit in CQB, but you probably want something smaller for that.
AK-47S works fantastic.
And an AK-74U also works very well.
Oh, yes.
Yes, absolutely. Indeed. Now for Field, again, rifles, light machine guns, you can use the guns from CQB, but they might not be as effective unless you do special maintenance and work on them.
As for sniping, this is kind of a pretty simple field. However, it requires two weapons most of the time. That includes your main rifle, meaning a sniper rifle, which is usually about 3 feet long. That's your standard size sniper rifle. But also designated marksman rifles, such as M16s that have been slightly modified, or even just your stock M16 may work. But sniper rifles include such as the L96, the Dragunov SVD, and other ones such as the M700. Now, as for your secondary weapon, since sniper rifles can only be used within maybe about 70 feet closest, you're going to want a pistol, which even though we've kind of narrowed down pistols more to the CQB range, it's very helpful when sniping, because you don't want to make someone's day bad and then make your own day bad.
Now, it is important to note, not necessarily just pistols, but machine pistols and very small things like submachine guns, usually very small weapons in this regard, because things like MP7s, things like MP5Ks, things like the Scorpion, these are all acceptable AEPs, or automatic electric pistols, that you can also carry as a sniper because they'll have lower FPS. Now, those are the guns you'll probably be considering if you are in one of these classes, but it's also important to note that it depends on how you like to play. I've already said that CQB, it'll be a little more intense, a little more frenetic, and probably have a higher kill to die ratio within the game. I don't mean to sound dark or scary or anything. You're not actually going to die, don't worry. But then you got Field. This will take a little longer. You're going to be walking around more because it's a larger area of expanse, but you're still going to be meeting people more, but your chances of interaction and firing will be lessened. So I did Field for a while, and I liked it. I like CQB more because it's just a little bit more my style of moving quickly. But then you have sniping. It's important to note that the intensity kind of wanes off as far as you go from class to class. As a sniper, you're not going to be encountering as many people unless, of course, you're a designated marksman, in which case you'll be seeing a lot of what your field guys, and sometimes even your CQB guys will see if it's more outdoor. But in general, if you're a sniper, you're going to be sitting, you're going to be laying down.
And the back with the pack.
You're going to have the pack, and you're going to have a lot less intensity for the most part. That's not necessarily a bad thing, and if you like to do that, we recommend it. But it can be hard to get into at first because it is such a jarring change from, at least if you're changing from one of the other classes into sniper, it can be a little jarring, and I found it boring when I gave it a shot. So I try to avoid it now. But if you want to try it, I don't deny it, and I'd recommend you give it a shot. Mostly because spring airsoft guns can be pretty cheap, and a lot of good rifles are spring powered.
Except for my SVD, that thing costs quite a bit, but it's lovely.
It's good. And so, I'd give it a shot if you can. I'd go ahead and see what it's all about, how you like to play. And so that's basically all I have to say as far as classes go. This has been Arrow.
And Connor.
With Airsoft DC and an introduction to Airsoft.